Welcome back to Football Match Daily. We're here for the final, somewhat final episode of a trip to Europe. We might have a few fun episodes along the way, but today we're here with the Fanspire. We've got Vinit and Priyanka. We've had individual collaborations with them, but this is the first time they're on our platform together. And we have our It's Coming Home chant boy. We've got Chinmay with us, and Ayush is back. Sid is unfortunately not. Let's get started, Chinmay. A tough final, a tough result to take. What are your thoughts about the result?
Um, I- what a final! What a final! We came up to the final. Videep, you and I should know this because in our predictions video, I literally said that England will come to the final and lose in the final. That was literally my first prediction in the first week of June. I didn't know that we would lose on penalties because that is the ultimate heartbreak. Um, I feel happy for Italy because they deserve to win it. So okay, congrats to them. And I feel sad for Gareth Southgate. Out of anyone in that camp, I feel sad for him because 25 years later, again he loses on penalties. So Kabir Southgate went home. Just feel bad for him and feel bad for England that he did not come home.
Um, Ayush, anything else you have to say about maybe
Yeah, I
South
think
Chinmay?
Chinmay is right to say that Italy deserved it, and it's generous of him to say that because generally England fans are not like that, to be honest. And I think all of us got our predictions pretty right. I remember Vinny projecting in the first week that Italy will enter the finals. Chinmay and I projected England to lose in the finals. So I think it was an amazing tournament, and I enjoyed every bit of it.
Vinit, if tactically you would say if England got something wrong, I think thus far in the tournament, England was spot on with their tactics. But I think going defensive after scoring in the second minute, was that a mistake? Was that a tactical mistake from Gareth Southgate?
I don't know if it was Southgate's mistake as such, but you saw the whole team to back off, not committing into challenges. Like the first 20 minutes, I think they were pressing, they were playing well. Italy hardly had any chances. But the moment they started backing off, you could see end of the first half the number of chances Italy created. Whether it was Southgate's call or it was just the mentality thing that okay now we are leading, let's reach the half time till 1-0, then again try to defend as much as we can because we saw the whole tournament they were based only on defense. They were grinding on 1-0 wins, which were more than effective, and that would have given them the trophy in the final as well. So I don't, but yeah, that was one of the reasons why they lost because the number of chances Italy created was too much.
You can't expect to keep a clean sheet like a team against Italy, can you?
I
Um,
don't think so.
but another bit of controversy, I think at the moment it wasn't that much of a controversy, but later, now that we can look at the bigger picture, the 219th minute substitutions of Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho. Do you have anything to say about them, Priyanka?
Honestly, I was kind of surprised at that, but then I think in the end it didn't really work. I don't know what Southgate had in mind, but then as we saw, those substitutions didn't really make the impact that a sub is supposed to make in a final like this.
Like I would like to add on to that, like the I think it was a big mistake for one specific reason. I agree that they are good penalty takers, but you cannot expect anyone, even the experienced players, to come on the pitch, not touch the ball, directly go for the penalty shootout at that big stage. If so, they were ready, I think, from the 115th minute itself, and the substitutions were just delayed till the 119 minute without any touch for Rash. I guess Rashford just touched the ball while tackling. Sancho didn't even get involved. So that was one of the biggest mistakes because the moment they came on in the 190 minute, and obviously you could see that they were on for the penalties, nothing else. I
And
told,
and yeah,
I told my brother that time as well, like this is going to backfire really badly because they haven't touched the ball. The pressure is going to be immense on them.
and Saka is only 19 years old. Giving him the fifth penalty, especially, was kind of controversial, and I didn't agree with Southgate there.
I don't think so controversial as such, but the only thing was, yeah, you could have had more experienced players there because you see that everything was relied on that fifth penalty. If this one of Rashford or Sancho would have scored, Saka would have been off pressure. Even if it would have missed, it would have gone into sudden death, something like that. But seeing that he had to score, being a 19-year-old, even he came on late in the second half of the match, and even he wasn't hardly like involved in the match. Like he was hardly involved. And like you said, 19 years old, the pressure of so many people. It, I mean, I don't blame Saka, I don't blame Southgate as such, but they could have done something better.
See, I mean, I think what adds up most is that first of all, his age. Then you look at the platform.
No,
Then what?
no,
No to
I
what?
disagree with all of you. I disagree with all of you because if Rashford scored, and mind you, everybody's talking about a run up. There are people talking that he is very selfish, and there are people talking that run up was not good. There are people talking that he does not need to be so stylish. He always takes that kind of run up for Man United. He has a good conversion rate, and also if you do have a look at it, a fairly good view at it, he did fool Donnarumma, which is very hard to do. He did fool him. Donnarumma went the other way. Rashford hit the post. So I can't even say something like he rightly hit it in Donnarumma's hands. That's number one. If Rashford or Sancho, one of them scored, we would not be having this debate, we would not be having this talk, and we would not be having this talk about whether Gareth Southgate took the decision of the bad decision of giving Saka the fifth penalty. Also, you look at any penalty shootout logically. I'm pretty sure when Southgate goes out to give his penalty shootout talk, I'm pretty sure the words that have been spoken are Harry, you go first. Harry Maguire, you go second. Marcus, you go third. Fourth is going to be Jadon Sancho, and fifth is going to be Saka. He is a fool. He is a fool, I agree. If he changes it mid order. Yeah? If he didn't, because that is more pressure. Imagine Saka being named as the fifth penalty taker. He is going to be taking the fifth penalty, and then being told that, you know what, Bukayo, take the third penalty, let Marcus take the fifth penalty. That would be illogical. The order was decided, the way he got the ball, of course, that is not a good position to be in. And now everybody is talking about age and everything. What if he scored? Everybody would have been, shutting their mouths up and been saying, "What a man! He had the courage to do it." And you have to agree,
I
right?
think everyone
And you have to
agrees
agree.
that he's
And
a brilliant
and
youngster.
The only
no,
thing
and
we don't know
it's not
who
just
took
him.
that decision because
No,
Saka, we
I
know he's
think
a
it's Southgate
we know he's a confident
because
lad, but
he
you
is. And
he
Grealish
had
has
to
come out
have
yesterday.
Sterling. Okay, I don't agree with Sterling taking a penalty personally, but you saw that Grealish came out and said that okay,
Yeah,
I'm also
Grealish.
ready for the
A
penalty.
player
Yeah,
never comes out and says stuff like that. But Grealish, who's not your typical player, he came out and put out a tweet saying yesterday that no, I did ask for a penalty, and he also said the same thing, which I'm going to reiterate here.
he said
That
it because Roy
that
Keane criticized
and
him
no, and
for not
exactly,
stepping up.
he said something very important, which I want to tell you, and which I think everybody should understand. Grealish's exact words were that the gaffer has got it right throughout the tournament, and I
And
think
he did
everybody
in the
should,
final
and
as well. We don't disagree with that.
everybody
See,
has to say that.
listen,
You
we're not disagreeing with anything. I mean, maybe Saka was right to go for the fifth penalty, but then I'm just saying everything
if he
that added
misses,
to the pressure of him missing was his age. First of all, I mean, see, maybe you're right. Maybe you can't point out the age because he's carried Arsenal for all of this
exactly,
for the last
he
season. So you
But
yes,
really
regardless
can't
of
talk.
that,
we
how
know
many
his age.
finals have Arsenal played? Not a banter at Arsenal as such, but okay. How many finals have Arsenal played and how many finals has Saka played for Arsenal? I'm not saying the
Maybe
club is
Saka
bad,
showed it
the
in the
player
final,
is bad
and
because he
also
has been player of the match wherever he has played, Saka. Let me
I
point
don't
that
think
out
Saka
straight.
was the first choice penalty taker out of them. I think if I'm not mistaken, Mason Mount would have been a penalty taker if he was on the pitch. He would have been a penalty taker because he has done it for Chelsea before. I think when Jorginho wasn't playing, and even if not, at least he is a confident lad. I think looking at the conditions, looking at the way it was going, and also you are not looking at the fact that Saka is also left-footed, so maybe that could also be in the equation because he's
I
the
would have
only left
preferred Shaw over Saka in that
over Saka.
situation. Sudden that definitely Saka.
But
or
again,
earlier, maybe earlier.
Vinit, again,
Yes,
same.
sudden death, you
If
have more pressure. I agree with that,
yeah,
but
and not even pressure. Not Vinit. It all comes back to that. If if England were winning, say two, if it was 2-2 and Saka had to score the winning penalty, just saying, Southgate, I don't think Southgate would have gone to Shaw and said, you know what, it was supposed to be Saka and Shaw, you should take it. Or when Saka knows when the Italian player scored, right? I don't think Southgate's going to be telling Saka that, you know what, it's the crucial penalty. You don't go, Shaw, you go. Because that is going to be illogical. Saka already knew whatever happens, come on me, he will take the fifth penalty. It has been decided.
yeah,
They have been
as a
practicing.
as the coach, as the manager, you have already been in that situation. Okay, you have to think for every situation, right? Normally, it comes down to the fifth penalty always, regardless of what the score is.
Yeah, yeah, you're
So,
right.
as a manager, I would prefer a player who's experienced. Yes, many people are saying whether they're Liverpool fans or not. If Henderson was there, he should have been taking the penalty.
I wouldn't have
I
vouched
would,
for Henderson to take the
I
penalty.
wouldn't have, still don't. But I'm just saying that experience counts there as well because he's still young. You see, Rashford, he's young. Sancho, he's young. More than half of the England squad is young. But experience in big match situations, how many of them have it? That is the big question. Henderson,
And
he had
Rashford
it,
has
but
scored
I'm
big
not saying he should
penalties.
be given a penalty. Sure, you could say that you saw his penalties in against Villarreal in this final. He had some sort of experience. Obviously, the levels are mismatching over there as well. But you see Mount, two finals already lost FA Cup, two finals he lost. He's there in the situation. He missed a penalty in this, I guess, Super Cup in this season
In
itself.
this
No,
season.
no, that
Mount
was
That
had
was
missed a
the
penalty.
that
the
was
Sorry,
again.
first
the
season
League Cup.
Lampard managed.
Carabao Cup. He missed
Yeah,
a penalty
Carabao
in the
Cup.
Carabao Cup against rival Spurs. So you have to think those players who have come out from them. Rashford,
I think
Sancho will definitely come out. Saka will definitely come out. But you have to think about that specific scenario as well, right? You have Shaw, let him take it. Why to risk it going to sudden death as well?
I think the only reason Saka was getting the penalty was for the element of surprise because no one knew how Saka was. They couldn't study
No,
Saka as such
I don't think so. I don't.
because there was
That
no
is
way
no.
you
I
can
don't.
study him.
Really think that this lineup of the penalty takers was planned, as you said, because since everyone's talking about the inexperience, doesn't it look like a decision that must have been made last minute?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. No, not a last minute decision.
Even
Not a
if it
last
was
minute.
decided previous to the match that okay, if the it goes into penalty, you're the guys who are
It
going
goes
to
both
take it.
ways. I think the people are not looking at it, and that is what hurts me the most. I've watched the final. I've not me. I've seen England losing the final, and I think people are not looking at it both ways. If Saka scored that penalty, or if Rashford scored one penalty, if Sancho scored one penalty, everybody would just be saying Southgate is the world's best ever manager to give them a penalty.
But that's the case with every player.
And it did not,
Now
and
See,
it
But
did
even
no
that's
not
one
the
is
work.
case with
criticizing
anything.
Southgate. No one
Listen,
expected
listen,
England to
listen.
be in the finals. No one's
Eh,
criticizing
I did.
Southgate
I
for his
expected
yeah,
it.
managerial thing. But in that decision, people
Mbappe
are
missed a penalty
criticizing
for God's
because
sake.
you have
Mbappe
to.
missed
See,
a
see,
penalty. It's one
You are
moment.
there in that
It's one
ev-
situation.
moment.
You miss the
It's one
penalty.
moment. It's one
everyone
moment.
knows what happens is a story, and what would have happened is another story. And people see, unfortunately for you, all three of them missed a penalty, and there's no changing
I
that
don't
fact.
blame them. I don't blame them.
yeah,
No
If
one
we are not
gives.
blaming
No one
them
No,
totally.
gives.
I no,
No one
I don't blame the players, and I don't. Okay, let me be clear. I don't blame the players, and I don't blame the manager for giving them the penalties. If you had the same 11 players on the pitch, to take the penalties, I would have gone with the same order because I trust in Gareth Southgate. And if he and of course he was looking at one whole month of penalty practices, pressure tactics, whatever. He knew that in the knockout stages there are always going to be penalty shooters sometime or another. You always know that, right? In a knockout game, there are chances of penalty shootout. It means he has practiced before. If if he has gone with these five penalty takers, I think there was some thinking behind it, and I stick with him.
I
And
think we
also,
should move on to
just before
another
we end,
topic.
just before we end this topic, yeah, just before we end this topic, people are not talking enough about Pickford. What a guy! Just want to put out,
Pickford's had a great season.
yeah,
He's had a great. It's been his redemption tournament to be
and
completely
I don't
honest.
think so for
he
England it's ever redemption because he's always there. You remember Even the 2018 World Cup, he was there.
That's true.
And,
Yeah.
and he made some
Just
great saves against Sweden in the
even
quarterfinal.
against
If
Italy, he made some good
if
saves, really good
if
saves.
England would have won, I for sure would have forgiven him for Van Dijk's tackle for sure.
Are you
But
serious?
What do
I
you mean
would
Van
have
Dijk's
because
tackle? What do you mean Van Dijk? He did not do it on purpose. That is such a foolish thing to say.
he hasn't
That
done
is
it on
such a
purpose, but I still blame it on
this
him.
guy, this guy.
It's
We
not
are
this
going
guy,
we are
it's
going
this
off
fan
topic.
base. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's the truth, and that's how we look at it.
Now
How
Dutch players will come out and say that because of Pickford, Netherlands didn't even qualify
Didn't
for the
qualify
semis,
exactly,
finals, and all.
and we exactly know which Dutch fan panelists will say this. So let's give it a rest.
uh, okay, I think this it's an inside joke for whoever didn't understand. But the next topic would be I think we should really discuss how Mancini maybe got everything spot on with his tactics all throughout the competition. Maybe all through the 35 games they've gone unbeaten now, maybe. But he's been great tactically so far, and he maybe nailed it the competition, the entire competition. 2018 didn't work out for them. The qualifiers, they were out. They couldn't make it to the World Cup. But what a redemption story for them, especially more than Pickford's, I think. But uh, so if you had to go back to it, we I think someone I'm not sure, but like a really good panelist pundit I think said that what Southgate's been doing with his tactics has been mirroring the opposition's tactics throughout the competition. Should he have done that for this game too?
Uh, I
Southgate
think
or
yeah.
even
I think the
Mancini?
biggest decision Southgate had to make was going with 4 or 5 defenders, and he started with 5. I think that was good enough. But when they scored, he should have switched to the 4 defender formation sooner, in my opinion. He stuck too long with it and was a, a bit too defensive. But otherwise, I don't blame Southgate. He was amazing this tournament, and he almost got everything right.
I
And
don't think so.
Mancini?
Like I think so. I would have agreed with Southgate. I disagree with what Mancini went with, to be honest, because we have seen over the course of the club season that if you play 4 at the back against a team which plays 3 or 5 at the back, you're always going to be outnumbered in the wings position. Always. It was never going to work out. It didn't work out when England scored early. I was doubting Mancini. The only thing I think played into his hand was England backing off. If they would have not backed off, continued the way, I'm not saying high press at all time because that is impossible. But if they would have been slightly braver, maybe it would have been 1-0, 2-0 as well for England. And they would be the ones celebrating currently. So I think Mancini was
But
slightly lucky in the final, but like you said, the whole tournament before the start of the Euros, I predicted that Italy would win the tournament. I think I had sent a screenshot on the Fanspire group as well. So I'm happy that they won because Mancini we know is sort of a serial winner right now. With Inter he did it, with City he did it. So I don't think so now anyone can doubt him.
to speak on his favor, haven't Italy aren't as flexible as England is changing formation. So if you look at it, England maybe Italy would have the same back three, or if they had to shift back further backward, the same back five. But otherwise, I think he got it all right, and maybe he should have still been a little more flexible.